easy, living easy, and we're easy living. Boom, bada, boom, bada, bada, boom, boom. Living easy, and we're easy living. Okay, hi you guys. Hello, it's Amanda. How's it going? I feel like it's been a little minute, not since I've been live because I'm live in the group all the time, but definitely since I've been live on this page. So as you are joining, say hello, or as you are watching the replay, say replay love in the comments below and let me know that you're here. Let me know what you're planning to do with your awesome weekend coming up. Hopefully you have as awesome of hair as I do. Wild woman hair, wild woman, wild hair, don't care. I'm coming on today to chat a little bit about this concept of wildness. I just had a good conversation with some of the ladies over in my group about it, and I wanted to continue the conversation over here. Beep, oops, I just had a pop-up. It won't go away there. So, hey Olivia, how are you? Good to see you. How's it going? What's up for your weekend? We're talking about, we're having wild talk over here, and actually a lot more of it will be coming next week. So if you guys followed along, like if you were in my group, we played name that superfood all last week, and I was thinking about it, and I've had, I've been playing with all these superfoods and appreciating from where they come in the wild, right? From where they come in nature. So if you think about it, like we follow those superfoods back to like Mother Earth providing everything that we need, not just for food and nourishment, but medicinally and otherwise for all sorts of nourishment, right? Hey Rita, and I suppose I should back up and say, if you are new to me, hey, what's up? I'm Amanda. I'm the nutrition intuitive and energy embodiment coach, and I love helping people eat for energy and eat for their intuition. And I'm really passionate about getting out of the energy of social conditioning around food, our bodies, and ourselves, which really feels like restrictive. It really feels like I'm in a box, and playing into and exploring into the universal energies of nourishment, which is really open and free and pleasurable and divine, and my belief that it's our sacred birthright to nourish ourselves well, right? To not fall into the trap of letting a scale or society or some man-made definition of beauty or whatever tell us how we can feel about ourselves. And so this goes right along with what I'm talking about the wild woman within as well. But I'll also say I'm a nutrition intuitive, so I can channel the needs of your nourishment body, which is really fun. I really love what I do there. And I love helping people eat more intuitively, but sometimes I need to kind of help bridge the gap between them and their own intuition. So that's what I do with readings, and you can always schedule a free reading with me for your first time on heismanhealth.com. Hey Sarah, so that's who I am, that's what I do, and so a lot of what I do is about sloughing off the social conditioning around food and eating, but I've really been exploring sloughing off the social conditioning around everything lately, and tapping back into my wild woman within, if you can't tell by my hair. What's up, Sarah? Hey, how's it going? What's up for the weekend? So when you guys hear the word like wild, or even like there's kind of a movement around rewilding right now, what comes up for you? Like, what does it make you think of? And I'm not talking like Girls Gone Wild or something like that. I'm talking about wild, like actually being in the wild. Although that kind of Girls Gone Wild energy is what can happen when we have such an imbalance and don't let ourselves tap into, thanks Sarah, the hair is fun. I'm nothing if not fun. If we don't let ourselves kind of like tap into that primal wild energy that we all have, right? So when I think of wild, I'm thinking the opposite of tamed, the opposite of domesticated. I'm thinking in the wild, like wild animal, like wild plants, And I'm thinking that we have an element of that in us before society became the way it is now. Like this is just the point we're in, right? At this point in the story, this point in the history books, like this is just where we are right now. Sometimes when I like go outside and ride around, I'm like, it's so weird that we have these like square box stores and we still use cars to get around. And you know what I mean? You've been crafting chairs. Yeah, says Olivia. So what does it mean to you guys to like get into like to get in touch, to rewild, or like to get in touch with your inner wild woman? I wrote this post the other day. I'm going to actually just read it because it's easier so that I don't go on and on. But I'm speaking to women and I'm talking about rewilding my own feminine and rewilding my own joy, and the joy that I've found from experience, right? From these experiences and from just breaking any shackles that bind as far as society goes, and really discovering like who I am and the wild woman within me, because it is joyful. Like the experience has been really joyful. I'm not saying it's been easy, but it's definitely been really joyful to find those glimpses of myself in the wild and recognize the beauty in that. It's been really joyful. But definitely, you know, it's been a hero's journey, a heroine's journey, if you will. Definitely not easy. There are definitely like dragons to slay and all that good stuff. But I said, and I will say before I read this that I'm going to tell some stories next week. Yeah, I see some more people joining. Say hi as you're joining. Let me know you're here. I'm going to be doing some more storytelling next week of like deeper into my story of rewilding and how it's gone for me. Everything from like leaving corporate America and beyond. Next week on this page. So definitely join me all next week. But what I said was I've been rewilding for a long time, or a short time, or an even longer time, as they say in the ancient stories, sloughing off social conditioning, cultural norms. What a like kind of sick idea, the idea of normal, right? Hey, Saphira, good to see you. Happy Friday. Slay those dragons, baby, right? Or just maybe jump on top and ride them into the sunset. I don't know. Kind of like dragons. You're really looking forward to hearing how I've rewilded my life. Awesome! I'm really looking forward to talking about it. So sloughing off social conditioning, cultural norms that have made me sick, and outdated beliefs that no longer serve. Communing with wild nature and letting the wild woman out. I've been taking cues from the earth, the sun, the moon, the ocean, the fishies of the sea, the birds of the air, the eagle, the owl, the great horned owl in specific, the fox, the horse, the moose, the bison, the mountains, the wind, the directions, the elements, the berries, the colors, and even the snow. I don't know if you guys can see this, but check it out. Even the snow. It surprised me too. So there's more. I'll continue in a second. But yesterday, my buddy Tyrone and I went on a hike 4 hours in the forest, in the wilderness, just exploring out there in nature. And we saw like 10 or 12 different crazy phenomenons. Not crazy though, wild, right? Natural, in the natural order of things. We saw like their wild animal in its natural habitat, folks. We saw a bald eagle. I crossed the river in knee deep in freezing water. I was really proud of myself. We saw the great horned owl, the white great horned owl with a blue jay squawking about it. And the great horned owl was like super chill, like, I'm just sitting here enjoying life. And I took that to be kind of like the wisdom. We kind of thought that might be the wisdom of the owl and the like playful trickster energy of the blue jay. Like you have to have that balance of wisdom and discernment and like playfulness and fun. Saphira's like, I will ride that dragon. Awesome, girl. You ride it. You ride that dragon. I love adventures. Yes, it was a big adventure. And and we saw a bald eagle. Oh, we saw a big white tundra swan, single, like alone, just flying up the river, stopped and like sat in the river for a couple minutes and then kept going, which was amazing. Which was kind of all about like the beauty within, finding the beauty within. Hey Adrian, good to see you. How's T-Town? It's probably even colder where I am right now. But we had these massive adventures. We've been seeing moose in the past few weeks, and I've really been able to tap into the land here and the story of the land, like the land speaking in its story, right? And the animals and the messages that they bring, and just kind of like that natural order of things again. And so what does this have to do with nutrition? You guys know me. If you look at me from the outside and all the things that I'm doing and talking about harmonics and dance and embodiment and speaking your truth and all these different things, like, what does this have to do with nutrition? Everything. Everything. Only everything. Because as we get, the more and more I've helped women with nutrition over the last 5 years, gosh, that I've been doing this, the more and more I've discovered like how sick our lifestyle in this Western world can make us. And the more and more I've noticed that the more we, what I will call rewild ourselves, the healthier we can be. The more we are in touch, the more we are in touch with ourselves and what wants to come through in this world, the more we are able to speak our truths, the more we are able to just be in nature and feel into that and understand it. We're so kind of disconnected from nature. We're so kind of disconnected from ourselves. If we grew up in kind of a normal society. So I'm all about questioning these kind of norms that we have. So it has everything to do with our health. When I feel so good within my primordial feminine essence, when I feel so good within my knowing my own intuition and knowing my own truth, when I feel so good within my creator-given, wild, beautiful human body that I walk around in, my vehicle in this lifetime, when I feel that comfortable and natural, there is no, like, there's no need for food to fill that gap, right? There's no, or I won't say food, I'll say there's no need for disordered eating or comfort eating or emotional eating. There's no need for binges or a third donut or a fifth piece of pizza to fill that gap, right? There's really no room for unloving self-behavior at all. It's kind of a sense of, you know, Tyrone posted this video. This is a slight rabbit trail, but Tyrone posted this video like a week or so ago about like this tiger. Was it a tiger?
Was it?
No, it was an eagle. It was an eagle. There was a different one with the tiger. I don't remember which video it was. There's two videos. One was an eagle pulling a mountain goat off the side of the mountain. And the other
was the snow leopard.
The snow leopard.
Snow leopard going after the ram.
The ram.
Yeah.
And they literally had like a 400-foot drop off of this cliff. The snow leopard and the ram. I don't know if you guys have seen that video, but it's like very primal. It's very like kind of shocking to see. And I think they said they've never captured something like that on video before.
Yeah, alone very seen snow leopard.
Yeah, let alone seen a snow leopard in the wild. So, and somebody, I don't know if I saw it in the comment section or something, but there was a quote about, have you ever seen a wild animal pity itself? Have you ever seen a wild animal pity itself? No, I never have, right? There's no, like, wild animals are just in the present moment, like such a beautiful example of being in the present moment. So, yeah, How are you guys? Are you guys relating to what I'm chatting about here? To kind of that desire to rewild yourself, to let the wild woman within out, to no pity party, yeah. To like really, and that just is speaking to owning our own desires and to not being in victim mentality, really. But I thought it was a beautiful example in nature. I am willing to guess that you, just like me, have experienced these moments of desiring to break normal, right? I've really built a lifestyle for myself that is not normal, what we would consider normal, or like not fitting into many societal conditioning normal boxes, as far as, you know, I left corporate 5 going on 6 years ago. And this can be, for those really plugged into that societal norm, really triggering and like even worrying, or just bringing out their own fears that they might want to project onto you, just because that's the way that they've been programmed, and that's okay. But we're in a time where a lot of us are waking up to this and realizing that the way society functions might not be the best way for humans in general, for human beings. So I'm really interested in talking about this. I'm really interested in being about this. I'm really interested in exploring this, not just talking about it, but talking about how I've done it and sharing that story like I will be next week. But also, this is leading up to, I'm going to be sharing an intro to rewilding in a 4-week program called Free and Wild Woman, in which we're going to have specific strategies and exercises and practices, and it's going to be super fun, and dancing and power animals and really wild practices to rewild ourselves. So, all my fellow Americans will get through Thanksgiving, and then the week after we'll start, and it'll actually finish a week before Christmas. And it'll be 2 calls a week. So it'll be on the Tuesdays. It'll be a longer Zoom call where we're all in a sacred circle together, and space will be limited so I can hold that kind of intimate, feminine, sacred space. And we'll do a Zoom call, and then a 90-minute Zoom call, right? Like a longer call once a week, and then a off call, like a Facebook Live in a supported Facebook group, private Facebook group, in between those calls, if that makes sense. And that is going to be $1,111, as we are in these divine aligned 1111 portals all month. Let's catch up on your comments here. Absolutely resonate with your message. Learning to break out of the norm is how I roll, and teaching your children by example that being normal is not a way of being. Amen. Deep bow, sister. I love that. I love how we're breaking ancestral, right? Years of ancestral training, ancestral.
And bringing back ancestral wisdom.
And bringing back ancestral wisdom at the same time. Mm-hmm. Thank you, TY. So if this is something you guys would be interested in, you ladies would be interested in, rewriting the story. But yeah, bringing back that wildness that our ancestors definitely knew about. DM me if you're interested in this. Yay, TY! Saphira says hi.
What's up?
Hey, Shay's here. Hey, Shay.
What's up, Shay?
So definitely DM me if you're interested. And if you're just joining, definitely go watch from the beginning, because I've just told a whole story, and I'm going to continue to tell stories next week. Same bat time, same bat place. Hi, cousin Amanda. What's up?
What's up, guys?
I'll leave you guys with this quote from my friend Brenda. Actually, yeah, I'll leave you with this. There is a wild being in each of us, untouched and waiting to be expressed, to feel safe to express, tenderly and with the lightest touch that we can bring that wild to the forefront, not to tame the wild, but to wild the tamed. So if you're interested in wilding the tamed, definitely DM me and let me know. This is also a beautiful sentiment. I love this one. If you've been reading my posts lately, I shared this one. Who's heard of Iron John by Robert Bly? I've been really, again, into the storytelling, which is why I'm going to tell more stories next week. But in this book, story goes, he came to a pond and he did see his reflection, and it wasn't entirely unpleasing to him. Most of our lives we are defended against a sense of our own beauty, but when the wild man or woman takes you to the water of life, you better be careful, because you may catch a glimpse of how much beauty really lives in you. So I'm really interested in exploring where your wild woman has taken you. Has she ever even been let out in the first place? Have you let her kind of speak or breathe or even just dip her toe in the water of that water of life? And what is your water of life? Like, what is your water of life? Do you even know how beautiful you are? Do you even let yourself recognize how beautiful you are and how wild you really are? That is what I want to share today. Definitely tune in next week as I tell more stories of rewilding in Amanda's life and how choosing to live outside the boundaries of cultural norms has been fun and interesting and joyful and not necessarily easy, but always an adventure, always an adventure. Hey, Becca. Hey, Elena. Definitely watch from the beginning. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and definitely DM me if you are interested in Free and Wild Woman, 4 weeks, 4-week program, 11/11, starting November 27th. Papa's sweater looks good on you. Yeah, it does. He's been wearing it nonstop. And yes, we are today. Awesome. Love you guys. Wild woman, come dance with me, wild woman. Oh, can't you see?
Wild woman.